In this video, I show you how to customize the feel of the crossfader for the Rane 72. Find out more coming up. Thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. Now let's get into the video. So here is my Rane 72. This thing is my baby. I love this thing. It's so fully featured, from the performance pads to the screen to how it's, very integrated into Serato DJ Pro, to the feel of the crossfaders. They're very customizable. But the one thing that's not customizable from just, the outside controls of the Rane 72 is the actual feel of the crossfader. Now what I mean by feel is the tension of the crossfader. Now these three faders, the volume faders or up faders and the crossfader, are all actually the same part. But because some people like mixing a little bit slower and you need a little bit more control on the up faders, the tension on these is a little bit different. There's a little bit more tension on this, so you can get really dialed in and really get really precise movements on here. But something like the crossfader, super quick, super slick, and it's that way because of cutting and scratching. You need it a little bit looser than you would the up faders. Now on my Rane 72, it actually came with this side, the left side up fader has a little bit more tension than the right side. Now, I don't necessarily need these volume faders to be as loose as this, but I'd at least like these to be even, because it's happened to me where I've run into a little bit of issues when I'm mixing because this one doesn't have the same feel as this one. But let's go ahead and remedy that, because Rane still allows you to adjust the feel of these. It just takes a little bit more work. So for this, all we're gonna need is a screwdriver, which I have right here. And we're just gonna go ahead and unscrew this bottom panel right here, and then take off these fader caps, and then we'll get into the adjusting. So first step, let's go ahead and remove these fader caps, and we'll start with this one right here. So these actually, are put on there pretty tight, which I appreciate. Now these, aren't, as locked in as the Pioneer crossfader caps, or fader caps I should say, where you actually have a locking mechanism, but they are on there pretty tight, and I've never had issues with my Rane this far, so that's good. Now that's done, let's go ahead and get to unscrewing. So this actually has 6 screws, so we have 2 down here, 2 right here, and then we have 2 more right here. Just grab my handy dandy screwdriver and we'll get to unscrewing. Okay, now all the screws are removed, and you want to make sure you keep the screws in a safe place. So I'm using this 45 adapter holder as a safe place so they don't roll around and they get lost. And also you want to make sure that your unit isn't powered on or plugged in before you go ahead and mess with this. So now that that's done, let's go ahead and lift this faceplate. Put that somewhere safe. And as you can see, these 3 faders have a pretty, similar layout. You have the fader stem right here, and then to the right, or to the left, to the side of each of the stems, you have these screws right here, and these screws are how you adjust the tension. So I'm gonna go ahead and change the tip of my screwdriver to a flathead, and then this is the fader that I need a little bit looser. So unfortunately, the flathead tips that I have are actually too big to fit in this screw right here. So plan B, I'm gonna go ahead and remove this fader and then use another tool to go ahead and adjust the tension on this screw. Now, word of advice, I don't recommend this. If you can, use a set of precision screwdrivers to get the job done right. But seeing as I don't have that on hand and I still want to get this done, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can finagle a way to get this done. So, all right, so I got them pretty even now after messing around with it for a little bit. So now I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in carefully. So just want to match up the way this lines up. Make sure it's snapped in securely. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw this back in there carefully. And then grab the first screw, grab this screw. Make sure these are nice and tight. You don't want to over tighten, but you do want to make sure that they're secure. For any screws on any electronic device. All right. That feels pretty even now. Okay, now that that's done, let's go ahead and put the faceplate back on and get everything put back into place. Okay, now that that's done, go ahead and put the fader caps back on. All right, feel about the same. And now we're good to go. So I did run into that little hiccup and I didn't have the right screwdriver. So that's one thing that I didn't see in the guide, in the instructions. So make sure you have a precision set of screwdrivers. Don't do what I did and use another tool when you can use the right tool. But as soon as you can get in there and really adjust that screw, it's really easy to get the tension of these to your exact liking. So that's a look at how to customize the feel of the crossfader for the Rane 72. So question of the day, how do you like the feel of your crossfader? Do you like it loose so it's easy to bounce around? Or do you like a little bit more tension for a little bit more control? Go and leave that down in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. And as always, if you found this video useful, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and click right here to subscribe to this channel. Or if you'd like to watch more content, go ahead and click on that video right there. And thank you for watching PDot TV, where you'll find tips, tricks, and tutorials for DJs and music performers. See you next time.